what I'd like to do over the next 15 minutes is give you a little bit of background on myself, take you through the industry, the cryptocurrency industry, and then answer any questions that you may have. In terms of background, I've personally been involved with technology since the mid-90s. As you can maybe tell by my accent, I'm from Australia, and I first listed my company on the Australian Stock Exchange in 2000, and then ran an early stage venture capital firm, and then got involved in crypto in 2013. The way that I learn is by doing, and I bought some mining equipment and bought some Bitcoin. And then that was really the start, the genesis of Banxa, which, as you mentioned, we just listed in January. The company's been running for over 6 years, and we're, as they say, the new kids on the block. And I know there was Steve from Voyager who gave a good presentation and a good overview around the cryptocurrency market. I think it's safe to say that the industry is growing and it is moving away from the tech nerds, and I will put up my hand and say I am one of those tech nerds, to really being the domain of the family offices and institutions as really a new asset class. And as everyone's aware, Coinbase just listed yesterday. And at the same time, there are other supporters out there of the whole Bitcoin and cryptocurrency ecosystem. And some of you may have heard of Paul Tudor Jones, who is actually considered the father of the modern day hedge fund. He came out last year to basically say that he's now holding about 2% of his assets in Bitcoin. And I'm sure everyone's been watching Elon Musk and his tweets about Bitcoin, and Tesla actually bought billions of dollars of Bitcoin as part of their treasury. So that's a bit about myself and the industry. In terms of our vision, the Banxa vision is about bringing cryptocurrencies, digital currencies to every part of the globe. We are the world's first listed payment service provider, or PSP, for the digital asset industry. And where, if you want to categorize the company, we are like a Stripe or a PayPal, specifically for the digital asset industry. And what Banxa is doing is building the bridge, the financial payments bridge between the fiat world. And when I say fiat, I mean the US dollar, the euro, the Canadian dollar, and the new digital asset world, which means Bitcoin and Ethereum. And so we are building the bridge between the two. We are like the picks and the shovels of the industry. And our business model is B2B, business to business, and it's highly scalable. And the most important factor is whether the price of Bitcoin is going up or down, we are able to clip the ticket and make money. How do we operate? So we have 4 key pillars in the business, 4 key things that we do. First of all is that we aggregate both global and local payment methods. For example, we offer MasterCard, Visa, and Apple Pay. And then we have local payment methods. And for example, those in Canada would be familiar with Interact, or if you're in the Netherlands, like I am, Ideal or Poly in Australia. And so we aggregate a series of local payment methods. We then have our regulatory and compliance layer. So we have many licenses and registrations around the world because the industry is now regulated. So we take care of all the compliance. And then we have a highly scalable technology platform that then delivers the coin. And how this works is that we then package up our technology, our payments, and our compliance. And then we plug that into global exchanges. Global, and we are, for example, some of our customers are Binance. So what you see on the screen, they're actually customers that have got Banxa integrated as part of their payment infrastructure. KuCoin, Huobi, and Edge Wallet. And so what we do for our customers is that we help our customers acquire more customers because we take care of the complexity around payments, compliance and AML KYC is very, very important, and the technology and the delivery of the coin. So we help them acquire more customers and help them move into new markets, because if you want to work into a new country, a bit like what Steve was saying with regards to Voyager, if he wants to move into Canada, there is a whole regulatory process. And by the way, we do have licenses and registrations in Canada, like we do in some Australasian countries as well. In fact, Steve and I have had a couple of conversations about this already. The way that we make money is charging a combination of commission and spread between 1% to 3%. And that is our revenue model today. Moving forward, we will start to add other products and services, things like interest-bearing accounts, borrowing and lending. And so today, the whole revenue model is based upon charging people for what we call the fiat on-ramps. So when you go from fiat to Bitcoin or fiat to Ethereum, and then we're now starting to turn on our fiat off-ramps, which means you can go from Bitcoin to a Canadian dollar. The way that we measure success in the business is through a measure called TTV, Total Transaction Value. And what you see on your screen are the actual numbers, the actual performance of the business over the last 5 quarters. And so in the March quarter, so last month, we did over 200 million of TTV, which was up significantly from 111 million the quarter before. And we expect this trajectory, this growth profile to continue. In terms of the company, we have about just over 45 million shares on issue on a fully diluted basis. We are listed both on the Toronto TSX Venture Exchange. We just recently listed on the OTCQX, which gives us access to US investors. And we are also listed on the Frankfurt Stock Exchange. We listed at $1 right out of the gates, as they say. We were trading at $2. And in the last little while, we've been trading between $5 to $6. Given that the company is only recently listed, not many people know about Banxa yet. And what I've put on the screen now is just some comparables with regards to the respective market caps. And so today we have, I think, a market cap of between 250 and 300 million. Voyager has a market cap, I think now, the last time I checked earlier today, was around $4 billion. And then a number of companies in between. And so we're really the company that, because we are the new kids on the block, we're only now starting to get our name out there and doing conferences like this and really communicating our story and the work that we've done. In terms of the shareholders, board and management are very aligned with the company. We collectively own 27%. The next 3 investors that you see on the register are all institutional funds based out of Singapore and Australia. And you will also notice we have 2 of our customers, OKX Exchange and KuCoin Exchange, who are also sitting on our register. And in fact, we have a number of other exchanges who are also looking at joining our register as well. Some catalysts moving forward over the next 12 months will be the continued focus, execution, and increasing total transaction value, because that's one of the key measures of the business. Continuing to grow our B2B customer base. We have, as of the last report, 63 customers. We have a target of 500. So there is significant growth available to us. and then continue expanding in other markets like Latin America, some parts of Asia, and Africa as well. And really, as Bitcoin and Ethereum and the digital asset sector becomes more popular, we believe that there will be much more interest in companies such as ourselves. Our team, we have a board of directors, Matthew Kane, Dodon Cohen, and Jim Landau. Between the three of them, have over 50 years of public company and technology experience, led by our CEO, Holger, who, as you can maybe tell by his name, is a German national. And as I like to say, he runs the company with German precision. And then we have Constantine, Josh, and Ian with experience at EY and at Goldman Sachs. So that really concludes the formal part of the presentation. I think just really in summary, if you believe the hypothesis that Bitcoin and crypto will only continue to become more and more important, companies like Banxa that are the infrastructure, the picks and the shovels of the industry will only become more and more important as really the fabric of the industry. And maybe now would be a good time to welcome any questions that people may have.
Sure, thank you, Dom. So there are a few questions here. The first one coming out from Mark's here. He's asking what's your take, any comment on the recent Coinbase listing?
Yeah, I think the Coinbase listing is great for the entire industry. It just further legitimizes the industry. The fact that they are basically the #1 exchange in the US. And companies like, so just to give you some context, companies like Coinbase or Voyager or the other customers or the other exchanges out there, they're actually our potential customers. So we already have, as of the last report, we have 63 B2B customers, and which we're continually expanding. And in fact, some of the names I've mentioned, we are already in discussions with about plugging in our payment and compliance infrastructure to help them grow in new countries.
Great. This one is from Shelby. So any other potential partnerships are in discussions right now?
The answer there is we have a strong pipeline of customers wanting to join our ecosystem. In fact, there's a delay in actually onboarding with us because we actually have a very strong pipeline. We won't announce every single customer we bring on board. We'll only announce maybe some of the big customers, and at the end of every quarter, we'll announce that we'll go from 63 customers to 80 or 90 or 100 customers. So there will be continued announcements around that. We are also in the process of adding new coins, as well as adding more payment methods. And so that's really the way that we grow, is just to continue doing more of what we're currently doing, and then ultimately providing a good quality customer experience.
Great to hear. So this question coming from Tony Kaka here. What risks have you identified and how are you planning to mitigate those risks?
I think I'll answer this in two different ways. Thank you, Tony, for your question. One is people risk in the business and attracting and keeping good quality talent, because businesses are really about a bunch of people. And that's one of the many reasons that we decided to list the company, is that it basically allows us to share the wealth and upside with our team. And a lot of our team are actually already shareholders, and most of the team are actually option holders in the success of the company. The other thing I should also mention is we are a payment processor for the crypto industry. And so we actually do not hold customer coins. And as part of that process, we made a very conscious decision when we set up the company 6 years ago, was to not actually hold customer funds, which further reduces the risk of operating a business in the cryptocurrency space. And so we are effectively a PSP with a regulatory compliance layer and with a technology platform that is highly scalable.
And this one coming from Estella is asking, is it easier or difficult for a new startup now to enter your market and grab that market share away from you?
Yeah, so there are significant barriers to entry to try and replicate what we're doing. First of all, it's having the almost 7 years of experience of being in in this space. The technology platform that we've built, it is our own proprietary technology. And then 3, the many licenses and registrations that we have around the world. For example, Canada, Australia, the Netherlands, Lithuania, and we're in partnership in the US as well. And so to acquire those licenses, one of the last licenses that we acquired took over 12 months and cost a lot of money. And so for someone to try and just come in and replicate, it would take them many years to build out the technology as well as acquire the licenses. And so in this instance, we actually have first mover advantage.
Okay, nice to hear. And this question from Ken is asking, would Banxa be open to a takeover or buyout by exchange or financial institution at this time?
I think ultimately it comes down to the price. I think that question there is longer term. Part of the other reason that we're public is we believe there will be consolidation in the industry. And the fact that we are public, I believe, will give us optionality with regards to being the consolidator. At the same time, if you were to ask me who would be the 2 potential baskets of buyers, the first basket would be the crypto natives, the companies like big exchanges who want to own part of the payment infrastructure. Or secondly, it would be the traditional financial institutions that want to get involved in the space and would rather do that through an acquisition, which means they get instant access to the space, as opposed to spending years and millions of dollars building it. The other thing that I want to add, the TSX, before we listed on the TSX, we went and met with exchanges in Australia, Hong Kong, Singapore, the UK, and Canada. We decided on the TSXV for a number of reasons. One of the many reasons is once we are listed for more than 12 months on the TSX, there is what they call a fast track program that allows us to migrate from the TSX to NASDAQ. And if you were asking me the question, what's the long-term plan from an exchange perspective? My answer there is Banxa belongs on NASDAQ. And by using the TSX as a stepping stone and going through this fast track process, it will reduce the compliance. Things like Sarbanes-Oxley, we get an exemption from that for 5 years. And so it ultimately means that if we are able to meet the requirements of NASDAQ, which actually we currently do, and we've been listed on the TSXV for more than 12 months, that's something that we as the board and the company will look at over the next 12 months.
Great, very in-depth there. And one final question here from JT. Any plan to grow, expand your business in Asia?
Yes, yeah, that's correct. We are currently looking at a number of partnerships. So first of all, we have multiple customers in Asia. Binance, Huobi, OKX, KuCoin, all started in Asia. So we have a strong customer base in Asia. And that's expanding. We've got more customers coming on board all the time. In terms of payment methods, we are currently reviewing a number of partnerships and opportunities to have local operations in a number of Asian countries, which will then allow us to turn on that payment infrastructure for all of our other customers. And that's really the leverage model in our business. Which, if we turn on a new currency, we can then turn it on for our 63 other customers. If we add more coins, we can then turn that on for all of our customers. And that's one of the real reasons that I love this business, is that it has a high degree of leverage. And so, all I'll say is watch this space with regards to our TTV, our total transaction value growth. And if you go search online, there's a number of research reports on the company as well. And Gilbert, thank you very much for your time, and everyone for watching.
Thank you, Dom, to give us an all-round update on your story here. Thank you again for your time.
Thank you.